Why We Love Horror 3.0. I'm John Maher. That's Abby Brooks. That's Aaron Brooks. We're going to skip the bit about how you guys are doing. I want to know how you guys are actually doing this week. How are you actually doing?
We're actually doing good.
I would say 2.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're all doing good. This movie, I believe, at least one, if not 2 of us had on their most anticipated movies of the year this year. It was a decent concept last year, so Parker Finn ran it back. It's Smile 2.
Something really crazy is happening to me. I need to stop it, but I don't know how. It's because you're a horrible person. What did you say? Gemma? I keep seeing his face everywhere.
This thing feeds off all the bad shit in your head.
Let's talk about that trailer really quick. Where do they find those fucking people to say that shit about this movie?
Yeah,
that's weird. I'm gonna go through all that probably later on and just really they said that? Holy shit. Right out of the gates, like this is not the worst movie I've seen in theaters this year. It's not even like in the bottom 10. It's just Smile 2 to me. It's like and we'll get into why it's just that. Abby, you go first. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I feel somewhat similarly, maybe like a little bit more enthusiastic than you, and especially Aaron. But no, I mean, I don't even think that this was on my anticipated. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm lying. But I was like, okay, I liked Smile. I thought the first time I saw the trailer, I thought it looked interesting. After I saw it many more times, I was like, all right, like enough. But no, when I first saw the trailer for this, I thought it looked interesting. I thought the whole like pop star plot line would be interesting. And yeah, like I thought it was fine.
First of many.
Hello, everybody. I'm Aaron, and I do not like the Smile movies. This was not on my anticipated list. And yeah, this is basically one of those sequels where it's second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and a little bit worse, in my opinion. And I did not like the first one either. These movies, I think I just need to accept them for what they are, which is they're like fun slashers pretending to be like deep mental health meandering, like grief trauma movies. Like it's very, very like shallow mental health horror for me. And I don't know how else to say that without sounding pretentious. I've also gone through a lot of issues in my own life. So maybe my life's just a little too interesting for these things to like kind of hit. I don't know what it is, but these movies, especially when they start to try to get deep, really, really bother me. And they're just not that deep for me. So this movie did nothing really different from the first one, just made it with a pop star and with the ending that became very obvious after about 20 minutes for me.
I think it did a lot different from the first movie.
Okay.
In the fact that it didn't even respect the rules of the fucking movie at all.
Yeah.
Like, let's start. I'm gonna just start getting my grievance up because I want you to know at the end of the day, like the movie's fine. Like I didn't even dislike it. Okay, I know I do this a lot. Like we're all shit on a movie and then wind up giving it like a good rating. This is one of those movies. At the end of the first movie, Sosie Bacon kills herself in front of Kyle Gallner. The curse is passed on to him, right? you're supposed to like see shit. Then the monster, the giant fucking whatever the like prawn monster comes out, and then it goes down your throat, and then you kill yourself. They don't do that. Like they right off the bat, they don't do that. Like I forget what Kyle Gallner's character's name is. Maybe look him up. Joel has a plan. He's gonna like pass it on to like these generic Eastern European drug dealers in New Jersey. Those exist. I know. I'm from New Jersey. They exist. So apparently he's in like Outer Patterson, Hawthorne. He's probably in Hawthorne, New Jersey. I imagine that's where the beginning scene of this movie takes place. Great. Hawthorne, New Jersey. I'm guessing. He has a plan, but he gets a little overzealous, winds up killing the dude. But he hasn't even gone into like the final stages of the curse yet. Like he's not being stalked by the monster. We don't even see him see anything aside from that person on fire. It's the only thing we see him see. Then the dude from the trailer, what the fuck's his name? Lewis, is in the place, and he's just like your skittish normal Coke boy. He's like, oh, sir, blah blah blah. But then more Eastern Europeans come. It turns into like the finale to Eastern Promises. Yes. All of a sudden, and Joel runs out of the house. He doesn't kill himself. He just gets hit by a car. He never goes through the final transformation, and Lewis doesn't fucking see it.
No, he's in a like back room.
Yeah, he's like, there's people that see Joel get killed. Lewis is not one of them. Yet the curse passes to him. Like, why would you leave that in your fucking movie? Like, do you hate your own concept that much, Parker? Talking to you, Parker Finn. What the fuck are you doing? Like, is this movie for 9-year-olds? Because like that's what it feels like when you do shit like that.
What a lot of this movie feels like to me is that they got together and they're like, how can we make it this bigger? How can we make this better? And it came together with a bunch of different scenes, set pieces, and then tried to make the movie from there. Like they probably had their ending from the beginning because that ending, like very, very obvious ending. And 3 is a very obvious where they're going with that. And we'll get to that shortly. I also really don't like when movies go and make their movie when it feels like they're making it just to make a sequel, which the first one felt that way. This one feels even more that way. And I just don't like that. Yes, they're going to get a Smile 3. Like, congratulations, Parker Finn. You made your short film that should have been a short film into now 3 overstretched movies. Because I'm already going to say Smile 3 is going to be overstretched and about grief.
I don't even know how they're going to do Smile 3, but yeah, it's definitely coming about. I don't know.
Group trauma, going through a tragedy and how it spreads, and like the world needs to smile. Like it's just going to be like the globe with a smile, like red smile. It's going to be like, whoa.
It's the post-apocalyptic movie.
We all need to smile after the last election or whatever the fuck that Parker Finn does. I mean, I went and I watched a few interviews with Parker Finn. I really wanted to kind of find out like, I want to see how this guy's kind of thinking. And he seems very much, in a rush to kind of like just pat himself on the back and be like, look at how, crazy we are. Like, do you know that every time Naomi Scott drank the Voss water, she was really drinking water? Do you know that?
She's trying to piss a ton. You probably had like, that poor girl in the fucking toilet.
And no, Voss water was not a sponsor. I just like the way the bottle photographed. I'm out on you, Parker Finn, after that sentence. And that's on like the Collider interview with Perry. If you don't believe me, he really says that. He's like, the reason we chose the Voss water bottles is because they photograph well. Fuck off, Parker Finn. You're not that deep. You're not that smart. You're probably come from a very like, calm upbringing. Congratulations.
His name's Parker. He definitely did.
Like, it's just like, I mean, like, come on, man. Like these movies are like insulting if they're trying to do anything other than be like B movie slashers, to be honest with you. Like, I'm offended.
Abby, go ahead. You can say something positive. Don't feel pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
You be positive. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say my big negative is actually the same as John's big negative in that first opening scene. I think they probably could have done something more with Kyle Gallner to make it seem a little bit more cohesive and make a little bit more sense. And in fact, I wish they followed him around a little bit more because I like him a lot. I don't know why they only chose to have him for that short amount of time. But I agree. I didn't like how that beginning scene ended, which they showed in the trailer, him getting hit by a car, or well, being kind of in the trailer. He gets hit by a car, but then it's like, okay, like it just doesn't make sense. And that's probably my biggest thing. My other biggest complaint, honestly, is it doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, but it really is the trailer, honestly. We all have seen that trailer so many times. And I think in particular, so there's a lot of scare scenes that were really given away in the trailer that I think could have had more impact in the movie if we just hadn't seen it. I think in particular, and it's not even any of the jump scares, but I think in particular the first scene with the Lewis guy, they show you what happens to him. So it's like you already know what's going on with his character when you see him at the drug dealer's house. Like, you know, okay, somehow it's going to get passed on to him, and then we're going to end up in that scene that we have seen in the trailer so many times. And then you see how he dies too, which I think that scene in the movie is very brutal. It's probably the most brutal scene in the entire movie. And it still hits, but I just wish that they didn't show it, because I think it could have been more impactful. Like, I don't think you really needed to show how the pop star, I think her name's like Sky, how she gets the demon. Like, I don't think they needed to show that. And again, there's just a whole bunch of other scares that they showed in the trailer that I think could have been more fun if we did not know about it.
Yeah, that leads me to my secondary issue, is like too many jump scares. Like,
I agree.
This is a concept that could be scary. It's the whole like inescapable dread of the situation that should be scary. But this is just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare after they're chasing you. Like it's a lot of person standing still into a full sprint, person standing still into a full sprint to the camera.
And
like,
then mental health meandering, and then back to the action.
Well, and I think even in regards to the jump scares, they sort of repeated, if I'm not mistaken, I think they repeated one of the jump scares from the first movies, where it's like, I forget what it was in this movie. Like, she's staring really hard. I don't know if it was at like a video footage, or like she's staring really hard at something, and then all of a sudden somebody comes out,
screams
from like completely different. I think they reused that one from the first one. I'm pretty sure there was something very similar. So it's like the jump scares are not even really that unique. I mean, I always get fooled by jump scares. Like, I always do. But like these ones in particular, it's very much so just like very dead silent, and then like just loud noises coming at you. It's just not like they're forgettable too.
Yeah, I'd say like as far as the positives go, before I get into one more negative, like it's like Naomi Scott does a great job. Period. Like, she's great. Kyle Gallner does a great job. I even think all the characters we see do great jobs. Like all 6-7 main characters, even Morris the nurse. They're all great. But you go along a path in this movie, and then the final reveal is that from the moment it's passed on to her, like everything is a lie. The twist is that the twist also violates the first movie, because that's not what happened in the first movie. Like, basically, like, you see all these plot holes happening. You're like, wait, how could she have hallucinated her if that person interacted with this person and this person interacted with this person? But then you find out the entire thing was all a delusion. So you have no idea what really happens to Sky for the entire week. But she winds up at a concert, which is, when she gets cursed, it's like 2 days away, but the curse is 7 days. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, why are you making me think this hard? It shouldn't be like this. Like, it's just, the movie just like violated. The movie rapes itself. The movie rapes itself for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. 2 hours of the movie raping itself.
Well, yeah, it did not need to be over 2 hours long, first of all. I would say there's a lot that they could have cut out of this movie. I agree with you to an extent. I do like them playing with like, oh, what is real? What's not? Like, I like that. And I kind of like, I didn't hate the reveal where it's like, oh, like none of this was real. None of it mattered. I think there's probably some of it that I feel like if you talk to the director, he probably will say that he's going to pick and choose what exactly was real in the movie.
Well,
And-
none of the stuff that happened to her could be real because, like, she kills her mom. Mom's alive. She like embarrassed herself in front of that record label exec guy. He seems to be all in on it. You know, like the assistant, like she freaking told him off. He was there. It's berserk. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to really add.
I also don't know where they go. Like also the formula of Smile and the formula, even the lore that they exposition the shit out of in this movie, as if you hadn't seen the first movie, is that it's a chain of one person to one person. And at the end of the movie, she kills herself in front of like 30,000 people. So like, what are we doing here? Like, that's a very difficult movie. Like, you can't handle passing it on to one person. How are you going to do this?
Right.
I like Aaron's idea of like the whole world is smiling.
It's coming.
It's going to become World War Z, but smiling.
Yeah, no. Don't worry, it's coming. I'm trying to think if I have any other like huge negative. More like a nitpick, but I guess it's because it didn't all happen. This is like a big nitpick though. Like throughout the movie, Sky is like tearing her hair out and stuff like that. Her hair looks so good throughout the movie. It really like she's like ripping it out, but every scene it's like style perfect. Like even as she's ripping it, it's still like style.
At the very end, she has like a quarter-sized piece of hair missing. At the very, even though she's ripping her hair out constantly.
Right. I mean, just like her hair looked really good, so I guess it's a positive and a negative for me there. But with the Kyle Gallner, just to get to that point, he did like 17 movies this year, so he had 25 minutes on the set of Smile 2. And they made the most out of that one.
That was it?
I'm kidding. Like I'm
exaggerating. Holy shit, he's the best. If that was 25 minutes, he's the
if
best.
there's one shot, maybe they're like, you know what?
He just showed up in his members only jacket. He's like, all right, guys, let's get this done. One take, let's go. He does it.
Yeah, like, and you know, I mean, Kyle tweeted a lot more for Strange Darlings than he did for this.
As he should have.
Yeah.
Good job, Kyle.
Yeah, so fighting the good fight, Kyle.
Kyle should tweet more about Jennifer's body now than he ever should about Smile 2 now. That's what he should do. Abby, anything else before we jump to the bits?
I'll give one last positive for me, at least. Again, we said that the main character, she was really good, and I did like her story throughout. I thought she had more of like a back history than, say, the girl in the first movie. I mean, the girl in the first movie, she did have like a dark past. But in this one, I feel like they showed a lot more. They did a lot more. Like there was the ex-boyfriend, like that whole thing, like her drug abuse. Like, I don't know. I thought all of that really worked for being in the Smile universe. Like, I don't know. I thought she was a really good character.
The Smile verse. She should have passed it on to Drew Barrymore. That would have been great. Anyway, let's do some ratings. I don't know how we should do this. Let's Abby, you go first.
So yeah, I mean, I did feel positive about this movie coming out of it. I mean, obviously we all have our own problems with the movie. I feel somewhat similarly to the first one though about this. I feel like if you like the first one, you should enjoy this one, I think, because it is similar, just a little bit bigger. So I don't know. I liked it. I gave it 3.5.
All right, I'll go next. I also kind of like begrudgingly have to give this movie like it's fine. Like it's done well. It's done well. Problem warts and all. I wound up kind of enjoying myself. Fucking 3. There you go. You earned it. 3. Hold on, Aaron. Let me throw up your thing one more time for the kids. They really want the added
Congratulations, everybody. We're getting Smile 3, and the whole world will be smiling besides me. I hate fun and deep movies, apparently, because I don't know what this one is. I don't think this movie knows what it is. I disagree that it's fine. I think this franchise as a whole is not good. There's a reason that one of the bigger studios like A24 and Neon doesn't want to have anything to do with it, because this movie is just not that good. It's more the same and a little worse here. So 2.5 for the first one, 2 for this one, 2 videotapes. I don't want to watch this movie again.
Fair enough. All right. We are still doing the Why We Love Horror Challenge. We're going to always be doing the Why We Love Horror Challenge. So it's the first annual Why We Love Horror Challenge at that website. You can still join in if you want to. The last 5, it's a lowercase r, a lowercase l, a capital W, a lowercase d, and a capital I. This week, it was watch a werewolf movie. And we ended with Aaron. We'll start with Aaron. What'd you watch?
Yeah, so I watched a movie. I was looking through a bunch of werewolf movies. I realized I'd seen quite a few of them. So I was looking for one that was like more off the beaten path. And it's actually one that came out this year or last year. I think it was released on the like festival circuit, but it's been widely released this year. It's by Larry Fessenden, I believe is how you say the name.
Larry Fessenden, yeah, legend.
And yeah, I didn't really, this is my first time watching any of his movies, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's called Blackout, and it's starring Alex Hurt, which is William Hurt's son. And it actually, like, there's a part in the movie where, like, it's like a very emotional werewolf movie with like a very clear analogy to alcoholism. It's like very on the nose there, but it's like done in a very sensitive, smart way. Like, took me a while to get used to it. I actually seen Habit from the 90s by Larry Fessenden as well. He's like very indie director, so it took a minute to get used to it. But once you kind of get past that, the acting's great in the movie. The writing's great. The werewolf effects are what they are. But I think this is one of the most underrated movies like of this year or last year that I don't see many people talking about. So Blackout, yeah, check it out.
All right. I watched a movie that had been on my list for a while just because like it seemed okay. I watched 2013's Where, W-E-R, Where, starring AJ Cook, who is the main character from Final Destination 2. And this movie answers the question, what if we took the plot from The Exorcism of Emily Rose, but made it not about an exorcism, but about a werewolf? Because it's a werewolf movie, but it's also a police procedural courtroom-ish drama. And then it just becomes a full-fledged like underworld movie at the end, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird trip. It's worth watching. I didn't say good. Worth watching. Abby?
So I watched, there were many movies that I could have picked from, but I decided to watch the sequel to Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed, and it was not that great, which I was kind of expecting. It was just okay. It really didn't need to be made. I mean, the sisters are kind of together in this movie, which I think was the biggest thing that was lacking, is there was just not that like high school like sister relationship kind of thing. It takes place in like a mental institution. It's weird. If you could watch it if you like Ginger Snaps, but it's not that good.
Fair enough. That'll do it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if you did. This next week, I think we're going to do Your Monster, but I know Aaron and I are also kicking around some ideas of some special editions. I might wind up doing one on Rumors, and Aaron, you might do one on what were you going to do?
On Blackout, actually.
Blackout. Okay, yeah. So look for those. Though they might mix into. Maybe Abby will do one. Who knows? We'll all just throw stuff out there. But regardless, Mondays versus Tuesdays is horror headlines if it happens. I don't know. Whatever.
There's always money in the fireworks stand.
Yeah, there's always money in the fireworks stand, right? Wednesday, special editions. We'll mix in some Why We Love Horror, Why We Love Horror trivia special editions. But every Thursday, we got the flagship Why We Love Horror. Next week, we're definitely doing Your Monster. This Friday is Why We Love Horror trivia. It is the team's number one contenders match. Abby, you're in that.
Yes.
So
I'm not.
Friday. Yeah. Aaron is co-hosting, so you'll see that. But until next time, this has been Why We Love Horror. We appreciate you stopping by. See you next week.